Hello, Ascension Diaries family. Alexis here, and it is January 22nd, the master number, my favorite number, my birthday number, for those of you who don't know. And today we do have some Ascension weather to cover. And first, I would like to say thank you to those of you who are supporting me on Patreon. This is a way for me to continue doing what I'm doing and grow in this community. So again, thank you. And let's get into the weather today, because there has been some activity. So let's get through this. As you can see here, the Schumann Resonance did go off this morning. I actually took notes about what time this is supposed to be because this is pertinent information. I apologize for not doing that earlier. So today we had some activity, and it looks to be at about 3 a.m. to about 6 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And the activity, the spike went up to 35, an amplitude of 35, and then subsequently to around 21. So again, nothing too crazy, but across the board, this was some power we withheld. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you had some sort of response to that. Most of us on the northern hemisphere, or northwestern area of the planet, were asleep during this time, but I'm sure some of you bolted right out of bed around 3 a.m. this morning. And bless the Schumann Resonance, yesterday I didn't upload a video, but there wasn't much activity. I looked, and it's around from 3 to 5 p.m. this activity was. So I'm not saying it is impossible for you to have been impacted by this. I'm just saying it wasn't substantial. So I don't feel bad about not reporting yesterday. And for those of you who are unaware, yesterday I uploaded my very first fireside video, and we spoke about a woman's brother. His name is Josh, and he has been declared missing. He went missing in Hawaii, but he has been contacting them from this other space, this other frequency of existence. Many intuitives say that he has not passed over. He has simply transitioned. And this coincides with a lot of the data we've been getting about this solar flash and the shifts that's going to be happening to more people on our planet. So it was extremely interesting to get this account. And then we also had a lovely story that worked. It braided together so beautifully. Was a lovely man, my new friend Giuseppe. He has also experienced a portal. He came upon one and experienced its energy and its love, and he desperately wished he could have went through it, but he knew if he had reached out to it, it was possible he wouldn't be able to return to his family. So we had a man who did and who did not go through a portal in our story yesterday, and I encourage you to watch it. It's extremely emotional, and it's uplifting as well. I don't want to give the wrong impression. I reach out to Josh's family for their loss of him in the physical, but he interacts with them on other levels often. So I am extremely grateful to hear of that. So if this occurs to any more of you, or you know of anyone who has had this experience, I'd love to hear about it. I would love to interview about it. We are following this story continuously. Moving on with the Schumann. This is more of the visual. I'm just going to show you really quick. This was today around obviously these two graphs work together, right? So this was the first blast around 3 a.m. And then you can see again around 6 a.m. This was more activity. And as you can see, it goes all the way down to the bottom of the chart, which shows that it was very potent, very quick activity, which is also something to keep in mind too. There is different types of activity that shows up in these energies, and some of them go right off the graph and some of them just kind of buzz in the background, is what I like to say. And we're moving on. So today, before we get to what I was just about to say, let's look here on the heart math graphs just quickly. That strange activity still happening in Saudi Arabia. It seems to be tapering off, whatever the heck that was. No idea still. We have less activity in New Zealand, that's what I was trying to say. New Zealand, and again with South Africa, we're getting a lot of activity. Ironically, where I'm at is getting almost the exact same reading every single day. And, same with Lithuania and California. So these areas are, except for this little weird anomaly I didn't mention back on the 19th, which was kind of neat. I noticed that when I was rewatching the video. So I'll try and keep a better watch for those little things. But overall, everything is looking pretty normal. And again, we have these readings here with a little bit more detail. We have here that sees that South Africa, again, is taking the lead basically with how much Schumann resonance power that they're experiencing. So there you go. There's those extra readings for you. Back to space weather. We're going to be talking about the solar wind. I'm just going to extend myself and push me over here. So we are experiencing an increase of solar wind. I am personally noticing that my back is getting sore. And I notice that when there's more solar wind, I tend to get sore, which makes a lot of sense if you think my theory is that the spinal cord is basically our major system where our electricity courses through. And if more protons and electrons are hitting us, this is where it most likely would be channeled through our bodies, as we are ourselves our own little generators of electricity, as well as antennas for it. So yes, my back is sore. If anyone else's back is sore, I'm just going to keep an eye on this. And when the solar wind is going off, I'm going to see if this is indeed true, because this is a theory I've had, and I'm just going to follow through with it and see if I can collect more data on that. But to be more specific about the solar wind, the speed has hit 515.2, which is, the average is again 400. So you can see that it is about over 100 more kilometers per second. And clearly we're having some sort of impact. I'm hearing about migraines that are occurring, and the solar wind was also active yesterday. So I didn't report yesterday, but the solar wind did go up yesterday and today. So we are in a current area of higher energy from the sun. But let's see if there's anything else to note here before we move on. Yeah, the K index is quiet. Let's take a pretty peek over here. So Suspicious Observers, if any of you know that account, they speak more in depth about solar weather and activity. There was some plasma shooting off the sun today, but it didn't hit Earth or anything like that. There was a little bit of temperament, but it wasn't dangerous for us here. And the solar wind and activity that we have been getting has not been overly disruptive to our magnetic protection that the planet does have. It's been handling it very well. As you can see, our KP index has been very, very steady. And we haven't even gone past into the yellow zone or the red zone, which is fabulous. And so overall, the solar wind isn't doing too much damage from this perspective. So again, I'm not trying to downplay any side effects or ascension symptoms that you're having from this particular energy that's coming in. And again, I would like to show you, and I'm blocking it with my face. Let's go over here really quick. The Global Consciousness Project DOT, again, which is the coherence against with the collective consciousness through our entanglement with each other's minds, because the field of our minds and our hearts are also connected. Right now, it is at a solid green, but you can see that throughout the days, we've been having some drastic movement between being significantly more connected and significantly less. And I would say that, yeah, this has been 24 hours. So you can see, it looks like it's doing a little bit of movement over here, but either way, we've had some interesting dips. It always seems like during the middle part of the day when everybody's at work and, not being that conscious, or, they're in their busy bee alpha, or is it beta? I don't want to get that wrong. I think it's high beta. Yeah, high beta is sort of where our brainwaves sit when we're doing monotonous work. And so perhaps that's why whenever I'm shooting these videos, everything seems to be on the easy, because everybody, all of us are in our little trances in our jobs. Not all of us, but a lot of us. That's just a theory I'm shooting out into the ether right now. I could be totally wrong, but we could see. Maybe I'll shoot it. I don't know how many hours ago this was, but perhaps earlier in the morning when there's less people at work, there's higher variance. These are the sort of things that we can sort of play with. Moving on to this lovely graph. I reloaded this today and it didn't seem like anything changed, so I'm going to skip this one today. Yeah, I'm trying to use it properly, but it's proving to be more difficult than I thought, because I thought this uploaded every day and I didn't upload it, or I didn't load it for 2 days, and it's still being weird. So let's just move on. I want to speak to you about the more esoteric side of today and the predictions that were made regarding the planets and everything like that. And then I'm going to talk about quickly the super blue blood moon, which in some cases, in some crowds, they're calling it the violet moon because it's the mix between red and blue, which is depicted here in the picture. First of all, I want to quickly talk about the astrology that's coming up for the week, basically the overall summary of what we should be expecting this week and the feel of how this week should go. Doesn't sound like it's going to be the funnest, but let me read to you what I wrote down. It says, this week is about getting out of your comfort zone. We're expanding a lot this week into new territory. So pay attention to this being the theme of your week, and don't get too tense. Don't run and hide from these changes. Expansion is always good. It might be a little uncomfortable, but just keep in mind that the planets, you can just blame the planets. The planets are forcing you to do this. It's always for your betterment and your growth anyways. So just flow with it. If you need any support, I'm always here. You can book a session with me on my website, just over here. If you need any intuitive guidance, I'll do a tarot reading for you. I will do a private session with you. Just reach out to me on anything. I'm available for you, of course. What else did I write? Yeah, that basically summarizes that. And ironically, the tarot card I pulled today was Strength. Can you see that? Yes, the glossy cards, so a little bit harder when I'm getting light off of this window, but we pulled the card Strength today. So you have it in you for this week to power through. I feel like we've gotten a card just like this recently, and I've been feeling this recently. It's kind of like, okay, I need a bit of a break. My back freaking hurts. I just want to relax. I just want to take a break. Definitely take that time for yourself, but also know that you have the energy, you have the power you have the strength you need to push through this week. And I have a feeling that the following week is going to be more of a positive week, more of a celebratory week. But we'll see. I will get back to you on that, as I will be doing a video about it, I'm sure. But that is all for the report. Here's some extra data about this blue blood moon eclipse. I forgot to mention, it's an eclipse, okay? This is a powerhouse of awesomeness that's coming our way. Let me just read to you what this could imply for your lives, because it's going to be affecting us. There's going to be a shift. You're going to notice on a global scale, there's going to be shifting going on. If you've been paying attention to politics, things have been speeding up and becoming apparently obvious that there is some serious shifting going on. And it's extremely possible that there's going to be something way more noticeable being permeated into the mainstream about the world and the state it's in, and about how it's moving into a new earth on all types of levels. So I'm very excited personally for this eclipse, and this is the beginning of eclipse season. There's like 3 this year, which is insane. Huge year. 2018 is a huge year. We are not going to be entering 2019 the same society, the same planet that we were at the beginning of this year, 100%. And so that's why I'm also doing these videos, because I really just want to track it all. So I'm going to stop babbling. We're going to read some of this for those of you who have hung on with me. I know these videos get long. I'm trying to make them shorter. Okay, so super blood blue. Okay, so super happens when the full moon is close to Earth. Blood moon is another term for total lunar eclipse. This is because a total eclipse gives the moon a reddish glow. Blue moon is the second full moon of the month. All right. La 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 la. Let's get to the good stuff. Think back to what was stirring for you, especially during the total solar eclipse that happened on August 21st, 2017. Lots of us know that this was an incredibly potent time when the total solar eclipse happened this last summer. So I'm looking forward to it being the same sort of energy. Exciting, really exciting, because of course we all saw that the whole planet sort of like went up and it turned itself over. It flipped upside down. It seemed like, with all of the tropical storms and everything, Gaia especially was doing a lot of purging and changing. So that's a good point to make. Perhaps some predictions here is that the actual planet is going to be having some stuff going on, but this is a lunar thing, so maybe it'll be different. Let me just look into it really quick. This will be a turning point. Take charge of our lives. I should have reread this and gotten to something more potent, but I will link this below so you can read this. I'm going to share it on the Ascension Diaries page as well. If you allow the energy of this blue blood moon eclipse to filter into your life, and you embrace the changes and inspiration that it brings, you will really be given a huge push to create a new state of being for yourself. So we're coming coming into being again. And isn't that the truth, especially with the energies this week that are prepping us? We are expanding into new territory, and it looks like we're going to be really given the opportunity, the power to step into a new place in our lives, in our pursuit of happiness. So I wish you all the very best for today. This is it. If you need to contact me or have any questions, I put everything in the links below. Please comment if you've had any back pain, any other sort of symptoms from this ascension weather, and I will see you tomorrow. And I can't get the recording to stop. Yes, I can. Bye, everybody.